The Gina and Matty podcast.
Tonight was a big night on MAFS. One of the grooms, Collins, has never even had a girlfriend, so this is his first ever relationship.
And it's his wife now.
And it's his wife,
Yeah.
so we're kind of watching that awkwardly unfold. And one groom did a runner last night. So John Aitken has to come in and sit down and tell his groom-to-be, who was going to be his wife, sit down and go, look, I've got a bit of bad news for you. Breaks it to him that your husband did a runner. So... You know, it was quite the night. It was quite, but I did love who we're about to talk to.
Hello, Eden.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Oh, I loved watching you, Eden. I loved your vows when you said, before we get too ahead of ourselves, I need to let you know you're not the only man in my life. I've got a 4-year-old golden retriever. What's his name?
Definitely got, his name is Cub, so he's like a lion cub. But I definitely got some funny looks in the crowd when I said I've got another man.
I loved it. And then you told him, I hope you don't mind being the second favourite or something like that, right?
Yeah, he will never be number one. No one will ever go above Cub, that's for sure.
Yeah. And how was it watching it back last night? You and Jaden together watching it?
I watched it with some family and friends, but it was so lovely to watch back, and honestly, it just brought back all the feelings of that day. It was so amazing. I had the best day at the time, and then watching it back, it was so nice to see that it came across how I felt it.
I always wonder with the weddings, like, it's, you know, I'd imagine, I'm putting words in your mouth, you might be wrong, but like you grow up imagining what your wedding day is going to be like and you want certain things. Did you have any sort of input into going, you know what, I actually really want those flowers, or I want it to look a little bit like this?
Not really. Obviously, I chose my dress and like the look that I had, but I didn't really get to choose the actual ceremony or the flowers or anything. But I tell you what, those flowers were beautiful.
They were stunning. Producer Love and I commented how beautiful your flowers were.
And your dress.
I think the one thing I didn't want to do, though, at a wedding was the first dance. And I had to do it, and I'm so glad I did, because that was my favourite moment of the whole thing. It was such a nice way to finish the day.
Oh, how good. And you're also watching back, you're kind of glad that your hubby didn't do a runner, is that?
I'm very glad he didn't, because, God, he's handsome. Did you see him?
He's very handsome. Well, both of you are a very good-looking couple. Yeah. I guess you're also glad one of the brides walking down the grass aisle, her heel sunk into the grass and looked like she broke her ankle, but I think she just lost her heel into the dirt. So things could have gone wrong.
When I watched that and I thought, I'm so glad that wasn't me.
Honeymooning on the Whit Sundays. We're going to see a little bit more of that. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, I did, but I think you'll just have to tune in and see what happens. But the Whit Sundays was a pretty dream destination. I remember that morning thinking, if it's not Fiji or the Whit Sundays, I'm out.
You know, I love Port Stephens, great part of the world, but I think if you got your Port Stephens and some people got Vanuatu, you'd be like, hang on a minute, how'd that
disappointed,
work?
I mean, Caston,
you know, you go.
Got Barossa Valley, and I'm from Adelaide, so I was like, please not Barossa Valley.
Really, it's just up the road from Elizabeth. It's not that pretty.
No, exactly. I'll with Sundays any day.
What do you mean we're just going to have to wait and see what happens on the honeymoon? What could potentially be happening?
Give us a hint, just us.
Just something, just between us.
I guess, well, there's a lot of love between me and Jaden, which is nice, but the experiment brings out the best and the worst in people, and the dinner parties are explosive, and there's a lot of drama, and they're like a battlefield. So you've got that to look forward to.
Oh wow! Because I did see a few headlines going around about Jack and him maybe not being the world's nicest person. Now, is that clickbait, or is that something that we are going to see in very soon?
I think Jack might be a bit of a troublemaker, but you might have to ask him himself.
Okay, yeah, you're very diplomatic, Aiden. I love it. Well, you know what? We loved watching you on the telly last night.
Absolutely loved watching you. You're a very beautiful couple, and we love your dog. I think all of Australia fell in love with you and your dog, Aiden.
Oh, I love my dog, so I'm glad.
We'll see you as it all plays out on the telly. MAFS is on Channel 9, and you can always catch up on 9 Now.
The Gina and Matty podcast.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.